And we are live. Come on.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening. I have my wonderful friend, Paul Knight, the Black Sheep researcher, who woke me up about an hour ago and said, "We're going live." And I have no idea how to do this. So this is the first time. So please bear with me. Okay. Paul, I know what time is it there for you?
Nearly 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock in the afternoon. Fantastic. I have no makeup on. My hair is a mess. I didn't even brush it. And I guess we're live. Tell everybody about yourself.
Right. As you can see, I'm just showing you now. So, you know, there we go. We've got people starting appearing in the chat. As you can see. Can you see them?
I do see them. Yes.
There you go. So that's, you go live. People are watching. If anyone doesn't know me, I mean, Garner Ball does. And I could press, I think, does as well. Yeah. Black Sheep Researcher, that is my alternate name, my AKA. I have my own channel. So if you want to check it out, please go to the Black Sheep Researcher. Just type it into Black. You'll get no one else. You know what I mean? So check me out. I cover a lot of topics: Mandela, spiritual consciousness, ancient history. You name it, I've done it on my channel. And there's something that will be on there for anyone, you know, anyone's taste. A lot of them do get connected to talk about ancient stuff in regard to secret societies, ancient meanings and stuff. You'll get it, you'll see it. My last video I did yesterday was about reptilians or archons, whatever you believe in. I showed how ancient history has shown them to be true, and it was a dendrolite bulb. So if anyone's not sure of what the dendrolite bulb is, it is what a lot of people call ancient aliens, and it's like a light. It looks like a light bulb, and it's a hieroglyph, and it's in the Dendra temple. I looked at that and thought that does look like an incubator. I've zoomed in. I've showed the software. You know what I mean? You can see it. You can see eyes and mouth, and you can see people standing with a knife. If it was an electrical device for energy, why would you need a person with scalpels behind it? They're doing the pose that they're ready to, you know, receive a host or pregnant, you know, to give birth. Things like that is on my channel. So just check it out, guys, and you'll enjoy something. And today I was just, Gloria wanted to go live. She said, "Can you show me how to use StreamYard?" So I thought, well, she said hello this morning, said, right, we're going live. And that is how we all learn.
Yeah. And you know, what Paul does, and I think that most of the people that are with us right now, hi, Jennifer, hi, Magic Sister, Dan, I think that most of the people that are here now know what your channel is about, and those that are just going to come, you know, by this broadcast for the first time. What Paul actually does is debunks everything that we were taught, okay, to believe to be true, as far as, you know, ancient times and ancient civilizations and stuff like that. He actually breaks it down and debunks 90% of the shit, really, or not, if not 100%, and shows us a different way to look at it and interpret it the way it really was meant to be, was meant for, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they sugarcoat it, and they changed it to make us think that a lot of the things, you know, as far as, I mean, you just got into the thing about reptilians, or you can get into, you've gotten into things with the Mayans or the Anunnaki, whatever, you know, and they make us look at it as, oh, they were evil and they were scary and they were this and that. And what he does is pretty much dissects it to the bone, like completely to the bone, and shows us a completely different way of looking at it, where we were lied to about 99% of the things in our own history. Although the Mandela effect has another way of coming in there and changing history. Like Paul will reach out to me almost every morning and go, "This is going to be my next video, and look at this and look at that." And I'm like, holy shit, you know, what is this stuff? Because I've studied the pyramids for years. I can't even tell you for how many years, how many things. And Paul, you come across all these things, and these things change before your eyes. I mean, you're constantly digging deeper, right?
Yeah, the new one I included in my video yesterday was Bez, the god that it was everyone's favorite. So we're classed as civilians, aren't we, or the normal town folk? He was a god, and he was supposed to be god of boozing, god of merriment, god of sexual pleasures, god of pregnant women. You name it, he was a god of, and he would protect them. Now, I've never even heard of him. He's outside Dendra Temple in a pose. If you actually see the pictures of him, so if you have a second, just type in Bez, B-E-S, or you can just go to my channel.
Do you have
and you'll see him.
Share? Do you have a picture that you could share? Because I don't know how to share it. Do you have a picture?
Right. Well, so let me just.
Because that was completely bizarre. I'm sorry. I've never heard of this person. Okay.
Just get me glass and I'll just show you a quick picture now. I want to just get to it.
I thought that was really interesting. Like I said, because of the Mandela effect, our history is completely changing. I mean, the pyramids are no longer in the same distance away from the, I mean, everything is changing, you know. The position of the pyramids are changing. The inside has changed. History itself, you know. I mean, we can get into a lot of things, but right now I'd rather stick with.
Right, I'll just go and share it now. Just share the screen. Now, what I'll do is you have given me permission, and then right, as you can see, there is Bez.
That's crazy.
Now, this is at Dendra Temple. He doesn't even look Egyptian. You can see him, different formats. Even the Romans take him off. There he is, Bez again. As you can see, that's Bez. Now, how that doesn't look Egyptian to me. Not what we've been told as Egyptian. He just turned up. Now, he's also a fertility god. So, to be outside Dendra, a fertility temple, not actually a hidden source of energy like a lot of people, even myself, I've said that I got it wrong. You know what I mean? I was looking at it as a free energy because it does look like a light bulb. But when you start to think with new eyes, when you research topics and you don't restrict your thoughts or your train of thought, you just keep open to everything and then go back and look at old things, you will see things in a different light. So when I looked at the Dendra light bulb again and saw what I thought was a mouth and a gill inside, I thought, why would it be a gill and eyes on it? So when I zoomed in, and it's on my new video, you can actually see eyes. It is frightening and exciting at the same time that ancients were talking about having parasites grow in them, or a snake or serpent, to be put into people. If you're into sci-fi and things like Stargate, they actually talk about the Goa'uld who have a symbiotic relationship with people. You know what I mean? The gods don't. They like take over the body, but they have soldiers who grow these things in them. And then they get took out.
Wouldn't you say like it's basically the same thing as creating a bot? I mean,
well,
right?
It definitely. I mean, if you think about it, I even found that reptilian means Trojan. So I converted it from Latin converter, did all the stuff I normally do, and for it to come out and say Trojan. Well, we know that the famous story about, you know, Troy and the Greeks hiding in the wooden horse, which was the Trojan. So they saying things are hidden in us and using us as the Trojan, the horse. We are here, you know, but basically we're here just for the ride and they're inside us type of thing. It's just so interesting that things like this get missed and don't get talked about.
Let me ask you a question. I know for me, I mean, Anana, right?
Yeah.
Anana, Esther, whatever name you want to give her. She was the fertility god.
Also, yeah.
Also, but that's all I've ever heard of. I've never heard of B. I've never heard of him.
I've never heard of Bez. I've heard of Hathor, obviously, because I watch enough stuff. But if you think about it, there's Inanna. Now, she is supposed to be, according to some sources, she's supposed to be Lilith. So you have Lilith, you have Inanna, you have Ishtar, you have Aphrodite, you have Isis. It goes all down the chain of these people being reincarnated, their persona, their powers, their effigies of paintings, hieroglyphs. They are all one in the same, and it just gets changed. It's like, right, we'll start a faction, a cult. We need a god. Let's make up someone, but we'll use Inanna's inspiration, and that's what's happening in ancient societies. They are taking a god or something in that time, and they are molding it into basically the favor. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Inanna, you have Inanna, and then there was Tammuz. Was it Ishtar and Tammuz? And they are the inspiration between the lion and the lamb, because Tammuz is the king of shepherds and flock and different things. Rings a bell. It's just like the church. Inanna is the lion. And you can see this even in that Mandela line. We're laying with the lion and the lamb. That is the inspiration. That's how I always remembered it. So these things are all used in history. They're just recycled. And when we look at topics, we should never get afraid or triggered. Like when I use religion or this, and people seem to get rigid, and the spell of indoctrination sets them wild. Oh, I have to defend my religion. When we should always look at it as a learning experience. God wouldn't mind you looking into different topics. He encourages it. He's not going to send people to hell or whatever if you believe in that just because you're looking into things. We're encouraged. We're an intuitive type of thing. We're here to learn. So if you're not learning, you're stagnating and you are taking on, and then you let yourself become indoctrinated. That is why when you talk about in this realm, we're here to learn. We are here to learn. It's like a learning experience. We've got the L plates on, as we call it over here, like a learner driver, and we're learning as we go. Now that gave me the inspiration for that video that I did a few weeks ago about the veil, finding out what that actually means. I mean, I believe the veil is put there to protect us because we can't be trusted with the full energy, the full force, the full record, everything come out once.
That's right. I agree, Paul. I was going to add that into the video. We are children right now. Our souls are not at that point where we can understand everything, because no matter how good you are, how awake you are, how humble, how honest, if you had that ability to see everything, you would use it in a bad way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you would say, you don't know what the percentage, but you would say X amount of people would use it in a good way and some will use it for the bad way. But what happens is, it doesn't matter if you have good intentions. As soon as you start, the ego, you call the parasite, the serpent inside, you could call that the ego. And then once you get the ego, well, I want to do this, but it's for the good. But that is your own perspective, your own judgment on what good is. What you think is good is not necessarily what I think is good. And the person beside of me will have a slightly different aspect and opinion on what he thinks is good. It's, for instance, if you was walking down the street and you saw someone hitting someone on the floor, you would jump in and protect that man. But what happens if that man on the floor did something really like killed or maimed or something to someone else than you? You just don't know the long game, what the actual going on behind that situation. So that is your perspective in life. So if you were brought up knowing that the sci-fi and the aliens, you will have a sci-fi alien aspect to your research and your beliefs. If you are religious, brought up religious, you will have a religious background and you will stem that way. And it goes on for everything. Whatever you were brought up and how you influence will always influence your perspective on what the truth is. What is this and this? It's as simple as that, in my opinion.
I agree with you 100%. I'm so glad that you brought that up, because in a lot of the videos that I've made, and one that I was going to put out today, but I'm going to say it now. Although we are awake and we're starting to see the frequency changes and we're feeling the shifts and we're learning now not to manifest, but we're learning to understand that things, the way we've lived our lives here, okay, we know what we want more of, what we don't want more of. Now, you could say that the things that we want more of kind of go out into the Akashi record. It's such a hard way to explain it, that these things now at this time right now, because the veil is lifted, are going to start manifesting in our lives. We don't have to do anything to manifest these things. It's already written. We already made it perfectly clear to the universe what we want more of, what we don't want more of. And the only thing that we have to do is sit back, okay, enjoy the experience and watch the things that we always wanted to manifest start to manifest. It's not a question of sitting there and, meditating for 10 hours and concentrating. I want to manifest things. It's already there. It's almost already closed. Okay, you're able to, what's going to be manifested into your life. You've already chose it. The universe already knows what you want and don't want more of. The thing is that we are limited to what we were able to manifest before the veil was lifted.
The training wheels are on.
Right, exactly. And that's what people don't understand. Because if we had the ability, you cannot tell me that people wouldn't go, okay, well, I'm going to use this manifestation. I want cars and women and this. You're going to do that regardless of what you won't use it to hurt people, but you're going to use it for material gains and things like that. That's going to push you away from the path that you're supposed to be on. So you're going to get your manifestation now, because like I said, the veil is lifted. You will start to see the things in your life that you wanted no more of and more of. the more of part starting to come in. And that's all you're allowed. And that's probably all you're going to be allowed this time around. Do you
what I would say, what I would say is for people who might not understand what Gloria just said, picture the Truman Show. Everyone's watched the Truman Show of how he's been filmed, and he was slightly directed to do things that he thought was his own personal choice. But you get, it's called the forking of the path, not like swearing, the forking like a fork, and it's a Y. Now you get a left, right or right path, and you can choose whatever one, but everything is still recorded. So picture your life being constantly recorded and stored. It's all stored away. It's all happening. All these things can be accessed at any time. All your realities, your past, your present, and your future, they're all out there. So if you're going along your day-to-day life and you have to make a decision, that is where it's called the forking of paths. Do I take the left path? Do I take the right path? And then from there, you then get another path and another path and another path. So it's all, you do get a basic choice of, I'll take left and right. And it's a case of like the old thing from Matrix, you want the red pill or the blue pill. You do get a slight choice, but even those choices are directed and already filmed, already stored. And when you get to that journey, when you're going down the path, you're uploading that thing that's happening now. Now, when I did a video a few weeks ago about déjà vu, it just means you have a connection that is slightly quicker than the original download that's coming to you. So you are seeing something happening that is already pre-recorded, and you can actually feel it and see it. So you are basically seeing it a few seconds before the live stream. And that's the way you can do it.
Before we get into deja vu, because I definitely wanted to, I just want to address Kev in the chat. He says, of course, we have to meditate. Kev, I meditate, I meditate all the time. If not, I mean, sometimes I do it 10 times a day. I don't mean not to meditate, because meditate puts you in a really good, frame of mind. What I mean by that is you don't have to sit there and meditate. I have to manifest this. I have to look at it. I have to create it. I have to feel it. You don't have to do any of that. Meditation is good because it's good for you mentally, but that's not how you're going to manifest things. The manifest process is already there. Like Paul said, it's already written. It knows what to do. So you don't have to really, really try so hard, to try to do it. Okay, getting into the deja vu.
Just answer. I think Kev K just said it then. Why can't we connect right to the source? Because we can't be trusted.
Not only that, but Kev, we are, first of all, we've never lost. We've never left.
We're always connected. It's just
always.
Your access to the information is slightly restricted. For instance, if you ever watch the Adjustment Bureau, they talk about how they watch people and directors, because when we have had the ability to connect to source constantly, our egos and what we just talked a minute ago took over and we destroyed everything. So the veil, which is named Elvi, in fact, that's a name I've researched and found, and the force is Elvi, and that means God force. So the God force is a shield put in place to control, not to stop, just to control the flow, so you don't get too much, get carried away, get an ego even bigger. It's just how you access it. Now, you might access it quicker than the person at the side of you, but you're still getting it basically, streamed, nice flows are constant, instead of just being full on broadband, all the connection speed, whatever you want to call it, and you're getting everything. It's done for a reason. That's just my opinion.
Yes,
I could be totally wrong.
No, I agree with you. We're going to be shown what we could handle, and what God or source, light, creator knows that we're not going to try to manipulate. Basically, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You don't.
I think you're right. What you just said. Then I think sometimes, and I'm not like naming them particularly. Sometimes you see people like losing themselves because they're connecting to source and they just can't handle it at that point. I think people get tested. Oh, okay, let's see if you can handle what I have for you, and it's like a too much overload. So then you have to just pull back and then gradually get back on the wheel. And then take it easy how you is, because if you can connect to everything and see everything, can you imagine the possibilities? But then you would then think, well, I want to do it for good. I want to do it for good. But then you take your own personal perspective. What I think is good, you might think of, oh God, please no. You know what I mean? And that's how wars and different things start, because one person's perspective on something is not necessarily the same as you.
That's right. I mean, I think at this point we're at stage, I want to say, like, I want to call it stage 2. We're awake. We could see what's happening. We see that reality is being changed right before our very eyes. And God is showing us. Okay. Now, like I said, we'll start to see the synchronicities, the so-called coincidences. You know, you think of someone they call, the synchronicities are off the chart. People are seeing their numbers, you know, mine is 111, 1111. You're starting to be shown the signs. Okay, guys,
Yeah.
it's time to wake up and know this reality is not what you think it is. You know,
I don't think none of us know. We can speculate on what it is, but that's the journey. We might only get when we actually get to the point where we actually know what the hell is going on. Sorry about using the pun intended, but when we actually know what is going on, is at the time we class as ascend, and that's our time to go. We just don't know. It's a sake of let's just make the best of what we can. Be positive, because obviously the positive can have an effect not just on you, but people around you. It's a virus. It's very contagious. When you're happy and laughing and full of joy, people at the side of you generally start feeling the same. Even people through the screen. If you're happy, it shows and it makes you feel good. It's contagious. Same with negativity and all that. It's all stored and it can affect you. And that is why I always say in my videos, and you do in yours, just try and stay positive as much as you can. You can't do it full stop because things... We're in a battle type of thing, and we always feel like we're getting crammed in a little box, and you can't do this and this, and this is affecting us, and we have ailments, we're not well in different things. So life is hard. So why would you want to make life even harder by being negative and withdrawn? You should just enjoy it like you've stole it. Like I always say, enjoy life like you've stole it, ride it, and have fun as much as possible. And because it can take its toll on you. If you're negative, you then start looking older in yourself and different things. It has an effect. Just like Dr. Emoto's work and every other scientist, he showed you that love and hate are physical forces and have physical effects on things. So if you're being negative and evil all the time, it eats you inside. You've heard the saying, it eats you inside. It physically does. It's actually destroying from the inside. And it's only a matter of time before it destroys the outside. Your vessel that you basically be carrying around, you know, we're carrying alcohol around in this vessel, and it can affect it.
Oh, I agree. And you know, I mean, you can't, like I tell people all the time, I'm not telling you, and Paul's not telling you, like, if you have, you know, terrible things going on with your health or in your life, we're not telling you to pretend that that's not happening and smile and laugh, because it's never going to work.
No.
What we're telling you is acknowledge, okay, you're aware that all this is going on, but choose not to live in it. Choose to look at something else. Go look at a flower. Go look at nature. Go watch a stand-up comedian for 2 hours and laugh. Okay, try to keep that positive attitude, because at this point, with the frequency changing and us shifting, we are still manifesting through our thoughts, through our feelings. Okay, so it's really, really, really important. Not so much, like I said, you know, you have to sit there and think, picture your brand new house and your new car and your girlfriend with the fake boobs and everything. No. That's not what I'm talking about. Keep that positive attitude, smile, you know, find the good in everything. And these emotions are the emotions that are going to manifest, and you're going to get more of it, because now is the time. And there is going to come a point when that manifestation period is done. It's off. And now the next stage, the next chapter is what you are going to experience, because you are already creating it. It's coming to you a little at a time. Okay. And when you start to acknowledge it, you understand what's going on. You don't fear it. You accept it. This is God. This is not real. This is an illusion. You get the whole game. Now you get to enjoy your manifestation. Okay. So it's really, really important to do. You know, I
but let's just think about it. When you're in a bad mood and things seem against you, what happens when you're doing your everyday thing? You go around your house, you'll stump your toe, or you'll pick a glass up and you'll drop and it's smashed, and you're like, whoa, and you're getting angry. You don't think, and you're manifesting negativity around you. So everything seems to attract you. So when you're being negative and you're in that thing, all bad things seem to happen to you, because you are basically, you're like a magnet, and all the things will then come towards you. And you do all this, basically you drop things, you'll have a crash, or, you know, it seems to pile up when you're in a bad place.
Yeah. And I agree. You know, another thing that's really bad to do, you know, when you wake up in the morning and you go out, and the first thing you do, you go in your car and somebody cuts you off, and then somebody else and then you sit there and go, oh, I could see what kind of fucking day this is going to be. Don't ever do that, because now you just created the rest of your day is going to be the same way. Look at it and go, okay, you know, you want to get mad, say, okay, there's a bunch of idiots out today. Well, whatever. And just go on. Just go on. You know what I'm saying? Don't set the tone for the day. Let it go. Yeah. Hey, Julie Nugent. I love her. My sister. Hi. Paul, do me a favor. Could you say hello to people in the chat? Because you have a lot of female admirers, love.
Well, I can't answer the chat because it's on the, you know, it's on your thing, but I can say on the screen, I can say, so there's hello to Lisa. Ever thus, I don't know if you're a lady or not. I know Jennifer M is a lady. Hello, Jennifer. Eileen Kepper. Hello. Julie Nugent. Hello, glorious friend. And Scapegoat. I don't know if you're female or male, but hello. I know there's Brian. I know Brian Watson. I think Brian's in the chat as well. And there's a few other people who I don't recognize. Yeah, I'm Gloria's friend. It keeps
Brian. Hi, Brian.
There's loads of people that there's a few I don't know. So, you know what I mean? It's nice to see new faces, share new ideas. Oh, Printer, I know Printer. Hippie, obviously, hello. Hippie's in the chat. She's saying I love the Lee t-shirt.
We touched on it a little bit before. Me and you went back and forth with this. I don't know how. I think it was like the whole fucking day, to be honest with you. I think it started at 9 o'clock and ended at 6 when you went to bed, which was 12 o'clock my time. But we were talking about the deja vu thing. Okay. Now, for me, I'm going to explain it, and then I want you to go into it, you know, because you made a wonderful video about it. Okay. I want to explain like a little bit about what Paul said before. When people right now, and I know Julie Nugent, she's still here. I know that she knows what I'm talking about. The deja vu thing has been completely off the charts right now. Basically, what you're being shown is a couple of seconds, okay, of something you already done. Basically, you have been reincarnated, I don't know how many times. Okay. And you're always on the same path. So deja vu is kind of showing you need to get off that path. You need to do something different because you're following the same footsteps. Okay. Now, with that, we get into the whole will, predetermined, blah, 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 blah. And me and you, Paul, went back and forth with this hour. We agree, but we have a different way of explaining it. The way I see reality working, the way I channel that is,
well, you're right, because we should disagree, because your reality is not my reality, and people have to understand that, and it's fine to disagree because we're in different realities.
We haven't disagreed. We haven't, you know.
We just have a different aspect.
Yeah, I mean, you could look. All right. You've been reincarnated. Your chapter is already there. This is how free will and determination, predetermined works. Okay. You're following the same path. You're doing the same thing, right? Here's your chapter. Everybody has little chapters in their life. You with a girl, you break up with the girl, you get a job, you leave your job, whatever. It's always a little chapter, every little thing that happens in your life. When that chapter, and you have no free will, the people that come into your lives, and even when you wake up in the morning and get dressed, this is not free will. It is all determined. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. Not you, Paul. I'm just saying in general. Predetermined. When that chapter comes to a close, now, then, and only then do you get a free will choice, whether you want to deal with it, whether you don't want to deal with it, whether you want to look at something else. That's your free will. When you make that decision, now it's like turning the page in your book of your life, and now you're at a different chapter. All these people that come in are already on this page. The way you made that choice, that one free will choice, is the way you go into that next chapter. When that chapter is done, once again, it could last an hour. That chapter could last a day. It could last 10 years. Then and only then do you get that opportunity to make that free will decision. That's why you have so many people. Let me explain something really quick, that are in situations and they're like, oh, you know, I'm in this abusive relationship, but I can't seem to get out. I always find myself coming back, and then I beat myself up. I don't know why I'm making the stupid same decisions over and over and over again, because those decisions are not your decisions. It's telling you, if you have to fight your own self and say, why am I doing the things I'm doing? I know better. You're not in charge. You're following a script, but there will be a time when you get your free will decision to create your next chapter. Paul, explain deja vu. Go.
Right, well, go.
Go, go, go.
I've had a lot of research into what's known as the why. Now, the why is what Gloria just told about. When you can turn the chapter, it's called it's the why philosophy. Pythagoras talks about it. He actually shows you that it's how you can pick from the left path to right path. I've already talked about it. Now. This is a why. You have a why in the brain. I've done videos on it. I've showed you how much this why influences in your day-to-day life. You wouldn't believe it, how just much it influences. Now, the deja vu, I'll just get my little board up, and you might have to click on me in case people can't see, and then I can just show you why, and I talk about this why. So just click on me, so if it's make it bigger. I don't know if it's on me now.
Oh,
that's you.
hi. I don't know how to click on you. How do I click on you?
You just click on me at the big picture, underneath. It should go to it when I'm talking.
No,
that's the smaller one. You've made me even smaller. Just leave it as it is, and people will get the understanding.
Oh, wait, let me see. Well, wait, I think I could do it now. No, that's me again. No. Hi, guys.
Doesn't matter. I'll just talk like this. What it is right. If you think about it, the air that we breathe is a fluid. It's a gas. A lot of people don't understand that. It's a fluid, a gas. Like light, like sound, they're all waves. Now, it's whatever affects the wave is the medium that it's traveling through. That's why things bounce, because it's reflecting and it's bouncing back. It's the medium. Something's blocked its path. I believe deja vu, like anything, is in the catchy records. That's just another name for it. You could call it the God source. You could call it memory bubbles. I've called it many things, but it's all stored. So when you're trying to upload these things to you, if it's got passed through a medium that it's affecting it, you can even get it quicker or slower, depending on the medium. Could that be a reason why they're chemtrailing, doing all these things? It affects the medium, the metals, affects everything. Now, when you get to that thing, you then see deja vu and Mandela effect, memory upload speed. So this is the why that I talk about. You have it in the brain. And if you think about it, the normal memory speed, for instance, if you was uploading and say your internet was like, say, 20 gig, 30 gig, or whatever you want to call it, if you get that source code that we all connected to God, the Creator, and you're getting it at one speed, what happens if you have the ability to upload on the other path slightly quicker? You would get that memory quicker because you're accessing it from a place where the medium is not as affected as the other side. And deja vu, basically, for me is, for instance, I have it constantly a lot. I have it 3, 4, 5 times a day. It's ridiculous. Say, for instance, I was sitting here. I could see myself in like a film, and it is actually played back to me in my head as a video, and I can see it, how it's going to portray and how it's going to finish. It is so ridiculous. So I am basically accessing what's happened to me before the source code, the creator code, that we're all access to it, but people just have the ability to access it quicker or from another part where it's, the medium, wherever it's got to come through, the veil is at its thinnest, or is it? Because basically we all talk about the veil is thin or it's gone. Well, the veil is a force. So if it's a force, it's a wave, and it has to pass through a medium. So if the veil is thin there, but not thin there, if you're accessing this, you're just getting that thought slightly slower on how you should. But if the veil is that far on that side, you're getting it straight away. So this is just what I talk about in the veil video on the Mandela effect. Is basically you are just getting the upload or the download, whatever you want to look at it, quicker than the original filming, the recording of what's happened in your life, because everything is stored all around us. And when we get a choice, I talk about choice, it's the forking of the path, it's the why. God gives us that free will to choose left or right.
Right.
Both sides are already recorded. And then you jump to the left or jump to the right, you then on another path, you're on another street. Then at certain parts, you have to make a decision again to be more wise. So you have to picture constant wise everywhere, like a net. And it's a fork and a path, so that even the net is a Y. And then, like I said before, the veil is called Elvi. So that is the veil, anagram, and it's called Elvi. And I thought, what does that actually mean? I found out that it means magical and it means God force. So for some person to find something who wasn't originally Mandela affected, still researching, still doing the topic, because there's people in it who are respect, like Gloria, and others that if it's happening to them, why is it not happening to me? It just means it's not your time.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That's all it is. It doesn't. It just means you're not ready for that. You were ready for whatever you. And I was doing my other videos and making other connections, so I was pushed in that direction to concentrate on my videos because I wasn't ready for this just yet. Something happened to me, and from that point onwards, I am ready for it. And I've talked about it in the video. And what it was is, if people who don't know me, I was in a car with my family driving along, and I saw a plane frozen in the sky. Not just me. My mother, who's nearly 70, and my daughter's 20 and all, they all saw it. I photographed it. I got it on a camera, on a photograph, which lasts 2 seconds because it was alive, and you can see it frozen just above the houses. From that moment onwards, that was what I call a trigger event. We all have them. We all have triggers, and that activates the crystal gene that's inside us because of the crystal on how it's accessed. It's good for storing energy and focusing energy in a particular direction. So, for instance, if I talk about downloads and uploads, you think a bit of like copper wiring, you will download the information that quick, but crystal is like quicker. It's even quicker. So if you've got cable and it's like actual copper and you have crystal or glass, you can store more information and source it quicker to the source. So when you have a trigger event, you just trigger from one path or one side to another, hence more information, more upload because you're ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it comes, like we talked about before, sometimes people are just not ready for it and it overloads the system and you have to do a reboot. And then obviously you learn from lessons. We're always learning.
Yeah.
It's like saying you learn from your mistakes.
Paul, when you're talking about the why and everything, I feel bad for a lot of people because they really beat themselves up because they're trying to absorb more information. They're trying to understand, they think that there's something wrong with them. Guys, this is how it works, okay? We know, without a shadow of we know that the brain does not store memory. Basically, your brain is a computer. It's your CPU. What it does is it understands binary code, and everything is binary code. I have a feedback, don't I? Do I have a feedback, Paul?
No, you're all right.
Okay. Everything, right? What our brain does is it just gets those binary codes and it understands what it's saying. And okay, that tree is that binary code, and that's a tree. That binary code is Paul, that binary code. And your brain understands, deciphers it. And that's how we have this reality. Nothing is stored in the brain. There's no such thing. The brain stores nothing. All right. So what we're doing is some of us are just able to see more binary code or look into the Akasha records. It has nothing to do with anything being stored in your brain. Like I said, nothing ever gets stored in the brain. Okay. Just like when people get brain damage and they can't remember who they are, they had trauma to the head. What happens is that part of the brain that deciphers, that looks at the binary code, cannot understand that binary code no more. Therefore, they don't know who they are. And the binary code attached to the people in their lives, they no longer understand it. Okay. So the way that works is, well, I just had a fucking brain fart. I'm just like, my brain just went, okay. But yeah, so some of us could look and see more binary code, more information. Okay. And Paul just tapped out. This is fabulous. Paul, come back in. So we're able to, what we call, look into the Akasha records and look at that binary code, the same way like some of us that are intuitive that could do readings for people. That's pretty much how it works, so we could see more where some can't. It's not that there's anything wrong with your brain. Your memories are screwed up, just like with the Mandela effect. People are like, oh, you people have something wrong with your brain and your brain is misremembering. And it's not, because your brain, like I said, doesn't store memory, so you can't be misremembering. So, yeah. So some of us can just see a little bit more. Some can tap into what Paul says is like the memory bubble, and all that stuff. And some can't. And you shouldn't beat yourself up, because in time you will be able to. You're only going to be given the information that you're able to handle. Because I'm going to tell you something, like I've said in other videos that I've made, people went overboard. They went overboard with the information. They went overboard with the research and trying to understand more when they couldn't really grasp what was happening now, you know, like reality, slightly things changing in their lives and stuff like that. They couldn't handle it. But yet they kept on and they wanted to know more and more. And they kind of tapped out. They really did. They lost it. You know, it's time to like step back and, you know, get back into just slowing down. And then you can do your research again. Just be patient. It'll come to you the way it's supposed to come to you. Okay. Because like that saying, you know, God will never give you more than you could handle. All right. We'll wait for Paul to get back in. I don't know. I think he dropped out of the frequency and probably left and went somewhere else. But since, okay, let me see where he just in my computer crashed. I'll be back on in a second. Okay. All right. So waiting for Paul to come back. I want to get into some symptoms that have been going on. Okay. And I mean, when the last video I made, I had said that between the 1st and the 11th of September, we were going to experience one major shift. Okay. We did. Now, I don't have access to it right now, so I can't get on the date exactly, you know, that these things happen. But from the 1st to the 9th, the 10th, most of you were experiencing massive nausea, waves of just being completely nauseous, like you couldn't take it. Okay, that was going on. It was waves, and it would last for about 2-3 hours, and then it would go away, and you're like, oh, okay, you know, I feel better now. And then boom, it'd start all over again. That was going on. When that went away, then it was the massive headache where you could not concentrate. You just couldn't, seriously, like, to have a conversation with somebody who was stumbling over your own words, because it felt like your brain was just overloaded with things. Okay. And you had that pounding headache that would actually keep you up at night or wake you up in the middle of the night. Let's see. Another thing. Oh, like I said, I don't have the dates in front of me, but I want to say it was like the 4th of September. It was the 4th and the 5th, I believe. Most of you experienced, you know, like I said, you know, me guys, I don't like talking about negative things, but there was some kind of really weird wave that came through, a negative wave, where you were just really, really irritable, extremely irritable. Just not yourself. You've never acted this way. You were lashing out at people. You had zero patience. You were crawling out of your skin. You just wanted everyone to get the hell away from you. And you were actually the bully. You were the bully in your family. You were the bully outside, you know, and you were just the bully. You had zero tolerance and you were disgusted with everything and just had this anger run through you, where you would hear yourself saying, okay, you need to calm down. What the hell is going on with you? Because now you're acting out of character. This is not even your personality, but you had no control over it. And yeah, that happened. And that was 2 days of that going on. And that wasn't fun. And I know a lot of you experienced that. Okay. Now, the big shift that we had was on the 9th of September. Middle of the night. I had a really, really weird effect that night, like to the change, to the shift. I mean, I always know when there's a shift, I always know it's going to happen 2 days before it happens. But with this one, it was really bad for me. Well, Paul is coming back. Okay. Where are you, Paul? He's coming back. Okay. So for me, it was like really bad. Paul, I want to ask you this question. As soon as I finish this, I want to ask you this.
Right.
So for me, in the middle of the night, I started choking, and I mean, like, seriously choking until about 2 o'clock in the morning, where all this, I can't even explain it. I knew something was happening. I knew it was a shift. And I also knew that it was going to happen on the 9th, because I was told in August, but I was actually told 3 days before it happened. But I didn't expect it to have such an impact on me. There was a definite major shift that happened. What changed, Paul? This is where I need you. even though time has been fluctuating, going back and forth, slowing down, speeding up, something really weird is going on with time right now. And as of the 9th, I had reached out to Paul, right, Paul? I showed you a picture and I'm like, okay, I'm sitting in my car. One clock says this. The next clock is an hour and 15 minutes ahead. This one is an hour and 15 minutes behind. This one, my clocks went crazy. Dude, my clocks stopped. Some stopped. Some were ahead an hour. Some were ahead an hour and 12 minutes. It was just completely bizarre. And then other things started happening. Well, can you tell people what happened with your car, like the change with your car?
I'll try and cut it, short. Basically, a few months ago, I had a problem with my car door, so I was trying to fix it myself. So, obviously you inspect your door, you know about your door, and I had to change the lock. So it cost a few dollars or pounds, whatever you want to call it. So I got that fixed. And then the other day, I was out in the car. I had my children, obviously they're grown up, and they couldn't get out the car door. And I'm like, I've looked just to see if there was a lock on, because I have a lock on the middle of the dashboard that you press, that your doors won't open. That was on, and I pressed it off. Still couldn't get out. I thought, oh my God, it was just the same as my car door. I'm gonna have to fork out for some new car locks again. And then, so I got out the car, I let him out the car, got back in the car. Then they told me the window, the electric windows wouldn't work in the back. So I thought, God, there's got to be something else. I looked down and my hand, my arm, my elbow were a leaning. So I got the new button that just appeared. Got back in the car. Just a little bit of feedback then. And yeah, so my arm pressed to basically lock all the doors from the inside, not just this lock I've always used, and to turn everything off. And people think, well, it must have already been there. Well, it wasn't. Like I said a few months ago, I tried to fix the car door. I know every button in my car. This button is so far back, further down, that where you put your elbow, you're going to always press it. Well, I've always done it and it's never gone off. You know what I mean? So it was so weird. And even the people in the car were like, I've never seen that button there before. So it wasn't just me. It was more than one person who's noticed that this button just appeared out of nowhere. Even though I have a button that does the job on my screen or on my dashboard, this other button just appeared out of nowhere. It was just so, you know what I mean? I was happy in a sense. I thought my car doors were broken, but it was such a weird event. It was.
Yeah. And then I had reached out to you, and we actually, I had spoken to Brian too. It was the same thing with me. I get in my car and my backup cam, I mean, the car, I've always had a backup cam. I've never had an alert where it beeped to tell me that a car was coming, danger. I'm like, I'm like, where did this even come from? I don't have this upgrade. It's not even part of this car. And now apparently when I back up, it warns me when a car is coming and beeps and flashes a light. And I'm like, okay, this is really cool. So we did have a major shift.
Can I answer something on time itself?
That's what I just wanted to bring up. Time.
As we know, time is a man-made construct. It's man-made. We don't need it. And people say, well, how do we get old? That is our vessel. If you think about it, it's energy. For instance, you throw a ball, eventually, it doesn't matter how hard you throw it, the energy will slow down, it'll stop, and it'll just fall. That is like this vessel. It's the energy, we vibrate. And all it means is when we start to age, the vibration is slowing down, less energy contained. And your vessel is starting to break down, because it is a journey, as we're saying, it's an experience. So it's basically, we only get so long in each vessel. If you believe in reincarnation or anything, this vessel is only here to store the immense energy that's inside us, which is the soul. So time, it's just energy in a way. And just think about, if you have access to how to hold energy and store energy and receive energy, if, like we talked about before, if you can receive energy quicker than what is normally allowed, that would have to perceive the perceived effects of time is faster, it's getting faster, or it's getting slower, or it's breaking down what we class as what man-made time, because we know man-made is made to make us to be slaves to time for jobs and different things, and get that restriction in your mind that you've only got so long, so you have to do it this, or you got to do it that. So it's basically like energy receiving. So if you're getting the energy quicker or slower, it would have the effect of time slowing up and fastening up.
Yeah, and another thing, like with time, that people don't understand is that you actually, your time is different than other people. I mean, okay, granted, we could all look at the clock and go, okay, it's this time, it's that time. But in your own reality, it's different. Like, how do I even explain this? It's so, Paul, do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's just so difficult to understand. Like,
well, don't forget what you could be. Well, I don't know if you're going to say this, but we have our inbuilt clock, circadian rhythm. So if your internal clock, which it controls everything, gives you the sensation of night and day, and all that. If that is off to what reality is, you then got a struggle going on. So if you actually perceive something inside to be true, which is to you, your circadian rhythm is telling you something is off. Because many times we've talked about how could they manipulate, change time to night because things don't feel right. It feels later at day, it feels early in the morning, but it's not actually according to the clocks because your circadian rhythm is set to a pattern. And once you start messing with that by taking daylight savings or whatever you want to call it off, it does affect your body because your body is setting a pattern. It takes a while for you to access and go on to the next stage, for instance. That's why sometimes when we lose hours over here, it does affect me because I'm getting up earlier or I'm going to bed later. Your body is set to a rhythm, and that is the circadian rhythm inside. So, like I said, if your circadian rhythm is off, or well, not to you, but do you know what I mean? It is off to what perceived time is, you're having a struggle then because your mind is telling you, look at the clock, I'm normally in bed type of thing, and your body's feeling, no, I feel refreshed and it's morning. It's the internal struggle.
Yeah, but we're able, but one, like I said, everybody's different. I mean, you can slow your own time down or you could speed it up. It depends on what you put your concentration on. You know, like you ever meet someone and you're having the greatest time, you're like, wow, time sure flies when you're having fun.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I explained in that time video that YouTube may go pixelated. I never had that before and I've never had it since. Where I did a video, I'm talking, and the next minute I go pixelated when I'm talking about how that we're slaves to YouTube and different things. It was so crazy. But think about that when you're happy. What you're happy, you're smiling, you're full of energy. So the energy I've just talked about is moving quicker because you're so happy. You're happy, so you're more revived, and you're smiling. So then, what I'm talking about energy is if these are vibrating quicker, and that's what's controlling the time, is you would get to that event quicker because your perception it's got more energy, so you get there quicker, you receive it quicker. If you're sad and down and you don't want to be here, the energy is not there. So that's why time feels slow, because of the energy inside you. It's not going fast, it's going slow. So you have more perceived time because it's slower in between the vibrations, if that makes sense to you.
In effect. Yeah, no, I agree. I think for a lot of people with the Mandela effect, Paul, and the frequency shifts and everything, that time is the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing for the body to adjust to, if that makes any sense. Yeah. I mean, the push and the pull and the push and the pull and I mean, we're it's the middle of September so far. I mean, like how is this even possible? It's just going extremely fast. And then, like I said, and then there are periods in the day where it slows down so much and then goes and slows down. It's messing with people's heads. It's messing with their bodies. I mean, any kind of change is going to have a wild effect on us, and that's the biggest things to kind of adjust to. Even though, like I said, our time is different. Each person has their own time experience.
Exactly. It's all down to that person's perspective. Right. That is how they judge things. So when I'm saying this, I disagree. That's fine, because you're not me. You are another entity. You're another soul, and how you perceive and manifest things is going to be totally different to what I am. So when people disagree, it's okay to disagree, because we're not the same person. We're not the same entity. I believe we come from the same source.
Right.
But we're all individualistic. We're all here to experience things at different times, different effects. Things what would happen to you don't happen to me. That is part of the journey. Well, when people don't agree, it's fine to disagree, because we're all different. I'd hate to be all the same. That is why we're unique.
Paul, but you could look at it this way too. I know who I am, right? But to you, you perceive me differently. You don't perceive me the same way I perceive myself. You have your own, in how do I say it? When you think of me, you have your own perception of me, right? My own, right? So it's different than my perception of myself. To everyone that you meet, they're going to have a different perception.
Well, just picture like this way, Howard. I talk to you, we got on great, we know. For instance, if I've got a book in front of me, pretend this is a book, it's a book of Gloria. Now, some people who perceive you have only read 50 pages, but I've read 70, 80 pages. I know you more, so my perception of you is going to be different to a person who's only read so much. Do you know what I mean? So that is how I look at things. From people who disagree, well, it's just your perception, your perspective. It's just different because I've got different information. Doesn't mean it's more information. It just means I've got different information. I've maybe read a few more pages, or you could have skipped. You know what I mean? It's a case of I just know you differently to other people because I talk to you more, so I have access to you more, the information more, and my perception of you would be totally different to someone else because someone could see you. What did I tell you when ages ago when I first met you? I said, "Oh my God, she seems really like in your face and like bullying type of thing and all this." And I thought, you know what I mean? Well, I was saying to myself, "What a bitch!" You know what I mean? I was thinking, "God, she won't let anyone talk." But when I get to know you, your perception changes. It's like the old thing: don't judge a book by its cover, and that is it's true because some people look at me and think, "Well, I'm this and this and this." You don't know me. You only know my persona of seeing me on screen and what message I'm getting out. It's like I'm talking now. It's not like, oh, well, this is what I believe 100% and I'm not going to move on that subject. No, I'm ever changing because I'm getting access to information daily that makes me change my mind on all things because I'm just accessing things different. So it's okay to have, well, I believe this. That's today. Tomorrow, you might be slightly different. And that is fine because you're just learning. And that is what the end game is. Knowledge is power for everything. So if we have more information, more knowledge, everything looks different when you look at it a different aspect. And that is how we basically learn. Well, in my opinion.
No. Yeah, I have a very strong personality, Paul, as you know.
Yeah.
You
She bullies me.
But I'm the type of person, the first time I meet someone, I just come in 100% with real, with who I am. I give the shirt off my back. That's the way I am. And I could know you 5 minutes, but I will do and be there and be 100%. And for some people, they get very they feel, I don't know, like closed in or like, well, who is this person? Why is she so nice? And why is she so, she doesn't even know me. And a lot of people get scared with that. So to them, I come off very strong, and get kind of like standoffish about it. But don't worry about it because in time, as I get to know a person, I kind of pull away because I don't. I
don't know what I've got enough for. I know sometimes I come off as shy and different things, and when I get to know someone, I open up more. That's just like my character. But obviously, as we're talking and getting used to using YouTube, you have to come out slightly, even though you're filming, you're looking at like the light on the camera or whatever. You still have to come out yourself a little bit. So that's what made me do it. I went on the Brian show different. I had to come out because I wanted my opinions. People were reading my posts on social media saying, oh, well, that's a good aspect of that. That's a good comment. Why don't you make videos on it? I thought, oh, I don't really want to feel on the screen. And I don't want to make it a video where it's just like a robot voice. You know what I mean? Behind that was just me. If I was going to come out and make something, I'd have to appear and show people my sensitivity or your emotion, because like text, when you sometimes text someone, it comes out different to what you're actually saying. So if you can see I'm being sincere about a topic, it doesn't mean I'm having a go at it. It just means when I look at something, I just look at it from a straight down the middle point of view and let the evidence speak for itself. So when I do a video, it's not me, well, I believe in this topic. So people seem to think when you make a video that you believe in that topic. We're here to, if something interests you, you don't have to be into it, but I like making videos on stuff that's interesting. And then you say I don't give my opinion too much. I let the people watching it gain an experience. That's what I try to do. The odd time I will say, I believe this to be this. But I believe my videos like a journey, and you can, that's my opinion. Like I use it as a video diary that some people resonate to. They have access to it. You know what I mean? Basically, and they comment. I've had good feedback. I've not had too much negativity because people can see I'm sincere. I say to people many times, you don't have to believe what I do. You just have to respect my perspective on looking at something is going to be different to you. Sometimes it'll be matched because I believe we have a shared frequency that we, the source code. So you do resonate a lot on certain topics, but you should never discount what people do and think, or judge, because sometimes it's hard. Once you tar someone with a brush saying they're this and then this, it does have an effect because of the negativity. So you know what I mean? That's why I stay clear of saying these people are this or I don't like them. I just keep my opinion to myself.
Right. Yeah, you just leave it up to people's discretion to do the research and figure it out. Like I said, what you're doing, actually, I mean, we all kind of do the same thing. Like you look at Brian Stavely, right? And you go to his channel and he speaks about all the changes that are happening in the Mandela effect. Your channel, you speak about, okay, listen, we've been lied to forever. Okay, as far as our origins, our history, and blah, blah, blah. And this is what we need to, you need to look at this, use your own discretion, whatever. Yeah. And on my channel, just like, other channels, I get into, okay, we know that this is all bullshit. We know that we have to move forward and this is how we're going to do it. And while we're doing it, and I show them how to do it, not too much. I do a little at a time. Okay. While I show how to do it, I'm also letting them understand that this is what they're going to go through physically, mentally, because whenever you change frequency, whenever you look at your video or you look at Brian Stavely's video and you're onto a different track and you're like, holy shit, you know what? This is happening. I'm going to do more research. You're throwing yourself on a different path. Therefore, you are changing your frequency by doing that.
Yeah. I mean, we all say it in our videos. We say, don't take this as law or have an opinion. It's just to give you more information and then go away and research and see if you can find something different. I encourage it. I say, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it's not the case of I'm wrong. It's just my perspective on how I'm looking at that topic. I see it with my standpoint. So I will see, for instance, and I use that analogy on my videos a lot. I'll do it on there because I've not done it in a while. For instance, when you look at this pen, you see it there, and you are seeing black, white, black. But what happens if I'm standing at that angle? I just see the black. Does that mean when you shout, well, that pen's white and black? And I say, no, I know it's black because I can see it's black. Yeah, you can see it from that angle. It's white to you on that angle and vice versa. So it's always got to do with your perspective. If you were looking at it like that, you would see it's white and black. You see it that way, straight on, it's black. Does that mean you're wrong and you were wrong, or you're both right, or you're both wrong? You're both right and wrong because it's just how you're looking at that object. And that's how life, if you have a religious background or whatever, like I said before, that affects how you perceive this object in front of you. It could be at any angle. It could be any size. If I go like that, it looks even bigger. Move it away, it's smaller. Who is right? Who is wrong? Or is it just your perspective?
Right.
And a lot of things are down to perspective and how you perceive what you are looking at.
Right.
And that helps when you're looking into things. You have to just to say, this is my perspective on this topic. Is it any different? Please leave a comment or email me. And that's what I say in a lot of my videos. If you have something better, use it. And this is what it is. People seem to think that I only see that topic as that. And if you don't agree with that, that's it. Well, why shouldn't it? Because like I've just said, that person who you were calling might see it like that.
Right. Because we all see things differently. You know, like there could be an accident and be 10 people that witness the accident. Everybody's going to have a different story. We all see it differently. Definitely. Paul, right now, I want to know if anybody in the chat, because I'm having a hard time with and that's another thing, guys, that are experiencing this shift. You're going to notice blurry vision, extremely blurry vision. And that's been happening to me to a point where I can't take it anymore. But if the chat has any questions, okay, that Paul or I can answer, definitely put them in the chat right now. and we will address it. Paul, you have your glasses on, so you can probably see it
I
better.
check them on and off, but I did have a lot of blurry vision yesterday.
Yeah.
When I take my glasses off, I can see at a distance. It's just close up. It doesn't get me. I was wondering why you're waiting for the questions coming in. Could I just talk about what I was mentioning to you before about that song?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I forgot about that.
A lot of people, I have younger, I mean, my older kids are old, but I do have a younger one and different things, and they're into Billie Eilish or Billie, you know, however you pronounce it. And I was just telling them, have a look at the lyrics, and they were taken back, because when you listen to it on the TV, a type of thing is, if they're not doing a video that is, well, anyway, this girl makes videos that like, whoa, you think she's possessed type of thing. And a new song called Billie Eilish, Good Girls Go to Hell. Now, I was talking to a friend today, you know, I don't know if you've seen him, Rich, and we was talking about this. If you think about it, how impressionable a kid at a certain age. So if they're fragile in your mind, and you know about bullying and cyberbullying and how that affects you, and people do, it does affect people. Now, what if you are a girl, or mainly a girl, I'm going to say boys listen to it, but if you're a girl at an early age and you listen to this song saying, good girls go to hell, what effect is that going to have on you? I mean, even listen to the lyrics. I'm not going to sing it, people, so don't worry. It says, my Lucifer is lonely, standing there killing time, can't commit to anything but a crime. Peter's on vacation, meaning St. Peter. An open invitation, animals evidence, pearly gates look more like a picket fence. Once you get inside them, got friends but can't invite them. Hills burn in California, my turn to ignore you. Don't say I didn't warn you. All the good girls go to hell, because even God herself has enemies. And once the water starts to rise and heaven's out of sight, she'll want the devil on her team. My Lucifer is lonely. And then it says, you know I'm not your friend without greenery, walking wearing fetters. Peter should know better. Your cover-up is caving in. Man is such a fool. Why are we saving him? Poison themselves now, begging for our help. Wow. And then it just, you know, repeats.
Yeah, that's a great message.
Do you know what I mean? So it's a case of, we know kids are impressionable because of the indoctrination. That's why they do it at school at set times, and they coax you into following set rhythms, set patterns, set frequencies that tell you it's not good to be a critical thinker. It's not good to think out the box. You can't dress like that because you have to stay in this so-called group of how you're looking. And even though my daughters are old now, and they're not, they are truthers to a degree. They know things. They look at things differently. I think that type of thing to someone who's, I don't say impressionable, because it can have an effect. You know, if you're at a standpoint and you're at an age and you feel the world's against you, you have no friends, you have no outlet for help. And then you're seeing someone who you so respect, so-called in the music, and you're telling that you're going to go to hell. It doesn't matter if you believe in hell or not. For that person to sing that, it could be that little bit to tip over. And it's not just that song. You know, there could be so many other things. And we know they use songs in that way.
Well, you know what? Think about it. They have to target the next generation. Let's target the indigo children. You know, let's put, you know what, Paul, when it comes to the Satan shit and stuff like that, that is just not me. If you believe in Satan, then that's what you're going to experience. If you believe in shit, that's what you're going to experience. But wait, I want to address a comment from Magic Sister, right? She wants to know if people with disabilities are feeling the symptoms. And the answer to that question is absolutely. They are actually experiencing it a little bit more, because most people with disabilities are extremely high empaths. And the thing that's kind of messed up about that is right away the doctor wants to give them more medication or up their medication, you know, because of their disability. They affiliate their experience and symptoms of body aches and throwing up and the headaches and the vertigo, you know, to their disability. So, but those that are awake are aware of this, you know, so they don't.
Well,
what's going on?
All about that is, I'll get to that in a sec. But what is good is, for instance, you look at things different to me. Other people that we've done videos with, like Brian and so on, they look at things differently, but we all get on to a degree. We all think the things differently, but you don't see enough of that. What's wrong with having a different perspective on things and working together because I'm here like to expose different things and basically help people to experience what I see things, and it resonates with them. For instance, I'll do a video on this and people think, wow, that made a lot of sense. And that I get a lot of humble from that, because I know I do it as a video diary, but you don't expect so much people to resonate or see the same things that you do. So it helps you to think, well, I'm not going totally crazy. It's not just me seeing this. And we need to stick together. We have to stick together for the greater good and basically create a more positive environment for us, for children, for friends to live in. Because like I said, life's hard enough as it is. If we're all being negative and attacking each other, we have to be unite. And basically, you know what I mean? So you do your thing on Mandela effects and ailments and, you know, what effects it's happening. I do, oh God, I don't even know what you call on my channel. It's just a bit of everything. And then other people have their aspects on it. There's no harm in having all different and then coming together and, you know, and agree and saying, well, this is and this and this. I'm not being aggravated. It's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? It just makes your day. Like, for instance, we agree on most things, but we have a different aspect on others. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, it's our own journey. It's our own vision. We're, you know, it's our own experience. So we could look at things the way we want to look at things, and that's going to determine what we experience in life. You know, but people don't understand that, and they get critical, and they start, you know, saying stupid shit, and you know, and those are just people you just don't even want to pay attention to.
I just like you said to your spawn, right? You said to me the other day, right? I need to be. You have to show me how to use this. Well, I've only used it once, but I thought, well, let's go. And this morning, right, we're going live, and you thought, but it's brilliant. And you know what I mean? And look, you're on live, and you got people in the chat, which makes it feel better. That you know what I mean? Because you never want to go live and have no one in the chat, and you're like, because you need the energy to bounce off the questions off people. Like I said, if you got any questions, please ask. You know what I mean? We can give our perspective on them.
Michael, we love you too, by the way. Yeah.
Michael's in the house.
Yeah, a lot of people from the first until now have experienced the Paul just really being really sick, like this discombobulated feeling, this nauseousness, the mucus has been I haven't had the mucus thing, but a lot of people have reached out, just constant mucus and sinus thing. And you know what? People will go, oh, but Gloria, everybody gets sick. But no, this is not that kind of thing. This is 1 minute you could go from having a pounding, excruciating migraine to where you're throwing up, and then that stops an hour later, and now all of a sudden you're experiencing vertigo, and then that stops, and all of a sudden you're experiencing blurry vision. It's just a nonstop shit. Yeah. And let me tell you something, people have been in bed for 3-4 days where they cannot get up. They can't even talk. They can't even walk for the most part. Deadly sick. Deadly sick. The itching in the throat, like you know, allergies, but then it goes away and then it comes back, and then you go through this experience. So it's a clusterfuck of symptoms that just doesn't stop. It hasn't let up. It hasn't let up. And I said in my other video, we were going to experience this with the major shift, which we did have on the 9th. And those that experience that notice changes within their own anatomy, their bone structure. Things have changed, and we'll leave it at that. You know, you guys know, you noticed it.
Got some questions in. Matthew was saying, one of the questions, no one talks about fitness in the truth movement. That's a good point, because I was always taught a healthy body is a healthy mind, you know, from school, whether you believe in that or not. And yeah, we talk about a lot of things, but not fitness. So that is a good point. I've not seen much of that. And then he asks, talk about parasites. Well, that was the last video I did. Now, I've been honest, and I say in the video, it all depends on how you look at something. I mean, I named it aliens, archons, parasites, reptilians, because in the fact is, for instance, some people believe in aliens, some people believe in archons, or they believe in all of the above. So I didn't want to put one label on something. Well, I believe it's this. So I left it titled like that because I believe the perception of people's perspective is valid. Why should I restrict other people? Well, I don't believe in this, so why are you believing it? It doesn't matter. what one person believes in. A lot, you know what I mean? If they're still a good person and that's what they see, that's what they see. There's no one harming it. So I made that video months ago. I won't have laughed at you because even if I don't know a topic, I will just say I've not researched it and I couldn't, you know, give my honest opinion on it. Now, doing the research, especially on the Dendra light bulb, which absolutely blew me away. I've been in ancient history, like Gloria. We love Egypt, we love the Sumerians, different things. It really interests us. And when I saw that light bulb being called a light bulb, I thought, well, yeah, it's a light bulb. I took it as granted. I took what he was, A, B, and C was saying rest of my life. But when I started looking into topics not long ago back, I stood back and I looked at it and thought, does that look like an eye? So then I looked into it and I found a couple of pics and it looked like an eye and a gill in an incubator. I did a video on it and people say, yeah, it does. But I didn't find as many pictures as I did on my last video. In that video, I've learned, like Gloria, we are learning as we go to zoom in on my editing and you can quite see eyes. I know, like Gloria's seen bits of it because I was sending her saying, oh my God, have a look at this. And it does. And then you think, well, it just could be metaphorically or something like that. It's an incubator. But then you look at the broader picture. It's in Dendra Temple to Hathor, snake cult, and she is a god of fertility. You had Bess, the new god. It's just turned up for some reason. He's having so much fun. He's just going to get crashed. He is a fertility god too. Then you had the person behind the so-called light bulb with what looked like scalpels. Why would he need it if it's a source of light energy? And then they're doing the pose. This pose in an Egyptian is to give birth or to receive. I showed pictures of that. So all this led me to the thought, well, they have been doing it for so long, using us as a host. So then that opens you up to so many things of God, what is actually going on in this realm. And it interests me. It doesn't scare me. It's a case of what I don't know sometimes can be scary because the unknown. But if you try and have a positive spin, I just use it as anything learning. Gloria uses the same. If I learn like this Mandela effect and everything's changing, I just think, wow, I can wake up today and I can learn something new. That's how I look at it, and that's how my videos come across. I try, I don't do many videos when I'm down and about. I mean, I sometimes feel like it, but when I'm talking on camera, I feel the energy from you guys, the appreciation, and the mutual respect that we have all for each other, and that's what it all should be about. So it just blew me away. Parasites, or whatever you want to call them, are here. You can call them demons, you can call them archons, you can call them ancient aliens. You can call them anything, can't you? They are here, and we have a daily battle. You see all the things on Facebook about people having cleanses. We do have parasites in us. Try and look at it this way. And I was talking to Rich before. He says, think about it this way: of us on Earth, are we the parasites to Earth? Because we're on its surface, you know what I mean? And we're doing all our destruction and whatnot. Are we like parasites ourselves? And that was an interesting point. It comes, because of all the stuff that's happening and different things like that. Do you know what I mean? So all these things are in film, TV, about being hosts, being reptilians, being all this. It's in society, but it's when you start talking about a topic, you get ridiculed, especially this one, because it does seem far-fetched until you look into it. All topics seem far-fetched until you actually take time, research, not just like a quick 5 minutes on YouTube, reptilians, and getting some person who might seem a bit, cuckoo. You know what I mean? So you have to research things and then gain your perspective on that topic, because it'll be totally different to mine. We'll resonate on a certain topics, but it just interests me so much that we're learning all the time. I mean, what things are going on.
You look at it this way. I mean, we create, right? We create technology. We're advancing, where we're able to do these things, and they already knew how to do it.
Yeah.
Jennifer M, can you put Paul's link in the chat to his channel? If you guys could do that every, a few minutes, that would be great. Because I'm
I
still,
mean, it is. If you people believe in manifesting and different things, you know what I mean, about doing this. If, like you said before, if you believe in evil, evil will happen. It'll be attracted to you. So, as I always say, and I mean, I'm honest. I know nothing, and I will say it, I know nothing. I'm learning every day. What's wrong with saying I don't know or I'm learning? I've got my training wheels on, like we said at the beginning. This is a learning experience.
yeah, everything is. I mean, when you look at this, reality, I mean, it's amazing. We could go and experience anything we want to experience. If you want to experience, UFOs and aliens, and that's what you're gonna experience. You want to, anything. It's all there. It's a tremendous, great big book of movies, of plays.
We don't know what's out there or anywhere or in between or in the water. In between, like I said, I talk about the veil being in between the molecules as such, the Akachi records, because we're all vibrating. So if we're all vibrating at a molecular level, and it's basically not an illusion, but you know what I mean? If we're all vibrating and we see how we see what's in between the gap, do you know what I mean? And that's what I always say, what's holding us together, what's stopping us from going, do you know what I mean? And I talk about that being in the veil itself. Do you know what I mean? It's all right to have a speculation. I'm not saying I believe this to be fact. If you don't believe what I'm saying, it does, you know what I mean? It's stuff. No, we're learning every day. I will say something now, and someone will say in the chat, I believe it this, and I'll go, wow, that does make sense. And then I'll look into that.
I think regardless of which way people choose to go and whatever they get from their research, at the end of the day, we're all going to come to the same conclusion. I mean, everybody's searching for the same thing. We're all searching for God, for what we are, for what the reason is, what the purpose is. It doesn't matter what we research, right? Because it's all going to come to the same conclusion eventually.
Yeah. And that's how you do when you research that you come to. I mean, I wasn't religious as such, I was spiritual, but when you look into these topics and you can see that there is a creator, you can call him whatever name you want. He's not going to, I don't believe he's not going to be hanged up on if you call him this and that. You know what I mean? It's just our perspective in the end of the day. But picture, we're all in a maze, we're in a huge labyrinth, and we're all at different entrances.
Yeah.
One of us or all of us will have different paths to take. The journey will be different. Some will have a shortcut along the way, some won't, but we'll eventually get to the middle, but not all at once. And there's we're always bred into us that we have to be the fast. We want everything now. What's wrong with enjoying what you're learning as you go? You will get your leg up or your thing to that aspect quicker, because you get links and connections that you don't even realize. I've looked into topics I've never even wanted to look at, but because people's asked me to, and I respect what they do, I thought, well, I'll have a look at this. And that is, I've looked at it and I thought, wow, I can see a connection between that and what I'm working on. And you wouldn't get to that point if you didn't look into topics that people suggest to you, or, it's a beautiful thing. And I'm just all about the learning and enjoying life to best as,
But Paul, if you look at it like we said before, I mean, nothing is coincidence. Nothing is a mistake. I mean, you'll wake up one morning and say something, and I'll mention something, and it'll get the ball rolling. You're like, holy shit, I'm going to research this. And I'm like, where did you get that from? Like, it just came to me. It's not a mistake. It's not an accident. It just happens.
Well, people have like the shared stuff that you say. You'll be thinking, right, I'll message Paul and I'll know it's coming. Or like today, you were just about to message me and I was going to message you, but then I'll let the lady thing have a sleep, because obviously I'm ahead. But that is because, like the syndrome that, when you get kidnapped, you start to have feelings for the kidnapper. This is just a case of when you spend time, doesn't even matter if it's online, if it's classed as an e-friend or whatever, you are sharing your frequency, your energy with someone through the screen, in the messages, in the connection. You'll make a connection. And when you make that connection, you share the access on this point, what I call the Y, on the tree. You can call it a tree. I've used the tree analogy a lot as well. And you have the same branch then to talk to. And we all have this. Oh, I wonder how Thingy's doing. And next minute it'll ring you.
Right.
We all have it because you're connected. You can't see it. You can't feel it. It's just a connection that you have made with a person, and basically it's a frequency, like we talk about, because everything is a frequency. Everyone can agree on that, because even it states law, like laws of science, everything is frequency and a vibration. So we're all connected, and we've all had this. I've not heard of thingy such and such. Next minute they will call you, or this will happen, because you're sharing that frequency it's set inside in your internal tuner or your computer CPU that you call it.
Yeah.
It's all in there.
Yeah. And there are times when, you know, you can also just out of the blue start thinking about somebody maybe that you don't like, you know, like say a girlfriend that you're really not crazy about, or a family member you're not crazy about. And all of a sudden you'll just start thinking about them, and you'll get these emotions, like you cry or this and that. And you're like, what the hell am I doing? You're actually picking up on them thinking about you and their emotions that they're going through at that moment. You're actually picking up on them.
I want to ask you a question, because I know the answer to what I believe it'll be, but it's not a question. I just want a statement. I want to say to you, I believe you make friendships quicker and faster online than you do in reality. For some reason, in reality, people are more step backish, but online, because you have that so-called safety net, because you're not in the same country or time, you seem to open up more to a person. So you do gain friendships quicker, and that connection forms quicker. That is just my perspective. You know what I mean? You talk to people online, and you form a connection quicker than you would if you met them in the street or something. You know what I mean? Because you don't know them. Normally you wouldn't go up to a total stranger and start talking about. Well, yeah, you probably would, yeah. But most people wouldn't, in a sense. You just won't walk up to, hello, I'm Glow13, by the way, and this is my channel and whatnot. In the reality of the e-world, the internet, you go into groups, so you're already on a foundation that you must be into that topic, and then you seem to grow faster because you're into.
I noticed too, people, especially on my Facebook, which I went back on, me and Paul, we went back on, but I will post something in the My Story thing, and I will seriously get like 500-600 views, you know, hearts and this and that. I'll post something about, you know, reality or whatever on my wall, and maybe get 20 or 30 thumbs. You know, people feel more comfortable when nobody else knows what they're doing. You know, like it's easy to be someone. It's easy to be yourself when you can't really put a picture to the face. You know what I'm saying? It's like incognito kind of thing, so they could vent and they could say things. Because I have a lot of people that I've never met before. And Paul, I swear to you, I am not lying. If I had at least this morning 100 messages, and I have not looked at them yet, and people vent and tell me their personal things that they've never told people, and they don't know me. They don't know me from a hole in the wall, but yet they feel comfortable because I don't know them. I don't know what they, although I can feel their energy and I already know what they're going to say. But anyway, you know, they feel more comfortable to connect that way. And then, you know, that's just the same thing through text. People will vent and tell you how they really feel through text. But when it's like face to face, they're like, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to you before. That's why you get that connection quicker and faster and intense.
Because you could be who you are. You could be who you really are, you know, through that way. Yeah, I definitely, I think it, but me, as far as going over to a stranger, that's me, Paul. I do that every day.
Yeah, we know you're crazy.
Well, you know what it is? People talk to me. I could be pumping gas and somebody will come over me and start talking to me and tell me something like, you know, it's really weird. This happened to me the other day, and they don't know me. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And I'll answer them and they'll go, okay, thanks. And they'll walk away. I'm like, okay. You know, constantly, even when I'm with my son, he looks at me, he's like, what the hell? He goes, why do people just come over to you? You don't even. I was sitting there having coffee at the gas station, just sitting outside, and I had these two young guys come over and they were talking to me out of nowhere, and they started talking about reality and things that they're experiencing. Now, how would they even know that I was into that, you know? And I actually end up helping them. And I
just want to say something to people who are new and they don't know me. If you go to my channel, I interviewed Gloria about a month or two ago, and I have all my videos in subcategories. If you go to the live bit further down, it's near the bottom. I don't know how it'll appear on your screen. You'll see the interview I did with Gloria, and it was a good video. When it was the first time I I went live on me, basically that first time I went live on my own. I interviewed Gloria and we had a good discussion, a bit like we're doing now, but I was doing a set questions that I've prepared. So if you ever want to check that out, me interviewing Gloria, it's on there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I gotta figure out how to put that on my channel. Jennifer, I agree with you. It is an empath thing, and it's been like that my entire life. Been like, and I have no problem with it. I love it. It's what I do 24/7, regardless. Just sometimes I get a little tired or mentally exhausted because it does take a lot of energy to tap into somebody's frequency and know how to help them and give them the right answer. Because when I do come across somebody that does need my help, I'm actually channeling. So it does take a lot of energy out of me to channel that and give them that information. And then when I'm done, 90% of the times, I don't even remember what I told them. I just don't know what, I don't know. Okay. Okay. Lisa's got to go. Love you guys. Hey, listen, before we wrap this up, because me and Paul could go for hours and I'm watching my battery go like this. Does anybody have just like one more quick question and then we'll wrap it up? Because I don't want to run out of battery. That would be a terrible way to lose my first live stream. So if anybody has a quick question, and I want to thank everyone for coming in.
Yeah. Thanks for everyone who I've not, because basically I'm on Gloria's host and I don't want to open another setting in it crash because that's what I tried to do before. So anyone I've not said hello to, hello, and please check my channel out. It's as you see on the screen, Black Sheep Researcher. You'll see me doing my crazy stuff. Just check out and enjoy. If something resonates with you, please.
Oh, Jeff wants to see my fur babies. Do you really want to see it? Okay, hold on one second.
Yeah, so like I said, if anyone wants to contact me, just contact me on my channel or email me at theblacksheepresearch@yahoo.com. It's as simple as that. If you want to know, for instance, how did me and Gloria know each other? And that was through Brian. That's how, here we go.
Here's one of my fur babies, and she was shaved like a lion. Look. Say hi, Kika. Say hi. Say Kika doesn't like to come in the house anymore. She stays outside day and night. She just doesn't like it in here. Go. And my little AB is sleeping. He wakes up later on. But yeah. So
was that the furry thing I saw you post the other day?
No, that's my little hamster, AB. I love him. I have another video. It's hysterical. I'm sitting there and I'm holding him and I go, AB, and he turns around and he looks at me. I'm like, okay. Yeah, grumpy face, definitely hippie. She's such a bitch. I'll tell her, come to mommy. She goes, no. I'm like, okay.
I've got a question there from Scapegoat. Black Sheep Researcher, what do you think of quantum tunneling? I've actually done a video on that so long ago. Don't watch it. It was an old video when I was getting into YouTube of quantum tunneling. You know what quantum tunneling is. Well, what they say is, who knows? I always say this to someone. If you think about it, we are using the information, which is the internet, to research. We can't go to a library. You can do, but there's not many around these days. And still, the net is slightly restricted. So we're using their resources to research and gain information on, like quantum tunneling and being in one location than another. We were slightly talking about that, wasn't we? Was it last week when you talked to me and I scrolled it down the paper and I was talking about heaven and hell being inside us.
Right.
And we could be, for instance, in both realities at the same time. Basically, you're in hell, what's perceived as hell, and heaven, and you could swap or you could interconnect or connect, and that is where these feelings, these things are happening to us. And we were just talking about that, and basically, but we're not using the term quantum tunneling in that word. But I have done a word on quantum tunneling, but it was so long ago. I was even worse because, for people who doesn't know, I used to have a few years ago, it's got better, like a speech impediment and different things. And I was confident in person. For instance, if you met me in the street, I'm really confident face to face. I've always been like that. It doesn't bother me. But on screen, I've become sometimes shy in myself because I don't expose too much myself. So I like using my channel to show people who've got dyslexia or different things like that, that it's okay to do mistakes. It's okay to do this. Just be yourself. And, 9 times out of 10, people are okay with it. You will always get that one person who's negative and a troll because they don't know any better. Do you know what I mean? That's just what they perceive to be.
But you know
Always
what?
do this for fun. It's ridiculous. So just have confidence in being yourself and go make videos. I was like, should I do with the channel? I've done it and I've grew as a person. I've learned more because I'm interacting with more information coming from all sites. Gloria had a channel, and now we're all learning different things because we're interacting with different people.
And Paul, you know what? Before I run out of battery, I just want to touch on this, what you just said. Heaven and hell is inside of us. And you're right. Because guys, if you are afraid and you look at all these changes and everything that's happening this is demonic and this is done by Satan, go for it. That's what you're going to experience. If you want to believe that Satan is an actual person and, evil and blah, 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 and he's going to possess you, then go ahead. That's the experience you're going to experience. For me, I don't believe any of these things. I don't, I know that like I said, like what Paul said, it's all inside of you. It's all inside.
That was interesting. You said something that resonated with me, and I was thinking, what if parallel, we talk about parallel universe or twin or the duality and different things. What happens if heaven and hell is in us? Is it in this gap? It is the frequencies hitting back. And when these bash and connect, we keep swapping around, so it feels like we're in hell or things like this. It's okay to be that. There's a quick question in the chat. Someone said, how can he defend against like psychic vampires and different things? Well, I don't know about that, but when I'm on a computer, if I don't wear this, I feel drained. This is all gone. You know what I mean? When I'm on a computer,
it's your residual. That's what you believe that, and that's okay. Yeah. If you need to, and I'm not saying that it's fake or it's not, because it works for you, because you put the energy in the belief that protects you, and that's fine to do that. Anything that's positive that's going to help you, go for it.
Yeah, and these, you know what I mean? For instance, I've done it at home. I've got crystals and different things. You have to believe in them. The entities which are the evil don't want you to do anything that can raise your vibrational frequency.
Yeah, people could look at that anyway. They could look at anything and look at it and go, well, that's negative. That cup is negative.
I mean, you've only got to go to your Wi-Fi or EM, other electrical devices, and they put an output. So you need to, what I mean? People talk about 5G, but your Wi-Fi puts out radiation and can affect you. So things can have an effect. Things can make you feel off. You just need to find something that resonates with you when you look into something.
You know what? For me, I have crystals. I love my crystals, but for the most part, I talk to God. That's my go-to person for every.
Well, I will be honest. I hope to see you come up saying hi then. I never used to, and then when something happens to you, you realize. I mean, I knew there was God. I've always been a creator. I told you that at the beginning, but I didn't feel I was not privileged. I didn't, feel like talking. Do you know what I mean? And something happened. I don't know what it was, but it made me just start talking more, feel the connection more. And I've not looked back since. You know what I mean? But that's not for everyone. And it's not the case of going on your knees or praying and different things. You don't have to. You just have to think in your head that you're talking, and that is, people connect different ways to different people. You know what I mean?
Well, positive. If you're going to use positive, it's positive. I want to address Unique Diamond Girl. My email address is Gloria13131313 at gmail. Oh, you can find me. You can find me on Facebook. But Paul, we're gonna wrap this up. But I definitely want to do another show where we get into the whole heaven and hell kind of thing, because especially with the Mandela effect and the Bible changing. I mean, to me, that was one of the biggest impacts, was the Bible changing. I mean, what is it, Isaiah 8:11 or Isaiah 11:8, whatever it is, the lion shall lay with the lamb is now the wolf. Guys, it's changing. Wake up. There's nothing that you have to do. There's no one that you have to warn. This is your own experience. Go through it. You're gonna lose a lot of friends. Family members are gonna probably look at you like you're crazy. It's not about trying to convince anyone of anything. Know it in your heart, go through it, see it, experience it, and just surrender to it, and just go with the flow, because it's about your evolution.
Yeah.
And Paul, just mention your channel one more time.
My channel is the Black Sheep Researcher, and it's easily found. You will find the Black Sheep Researcher 2.0. That's my backup for when YouTube sends you. But Black Sheep Researcher, that's my channel. If you wonder what I do, I touch on similar stuff to Glory, to be honest, but I just word it and use my perspective differently on everything. There's Mandela stuff, there's spiritual stuff.
Thank you.
There's stuff about everything on my channel. I mean, there's even like stuff where I show you, well, I talk about what the Mandela effect could be, on how it is, memory waves, bubbles, how things are stored. You name it, it's on my channel. And I'm, you know what I mean? I touch on stuff like the New York Oculus and the connections. You will find that I always find something that a lot of people miss. It's not mean, oh, wow. It just, my perspective finds different things.
Well, you did you really quick. You did a video on the Patria, which got how many hits? Over 10,000.
Yeah, it's about 11,000 now, and that was only when I was like I had about 50 to 100 subs.
Yeah, and that was a big deal because we don't remember that happening in our reality. That, you know, the frequency that we were once on. So that was like a really big thing.
Do you remember? I don't know if I've told you about this. Quickly before we go, there's been a new civilization discovered in the last 4 days, hidden under Europe.
Don't say who it is. Do you want to say who it is, or do you want to do a video for?
No, I'm not doing a video on it. It's called Adria. It just came out in the news. I knew about it, but Ghosty333 said, "Do you know about this?" And I said, "Yeah." What it is they've just found a civilization that's under Europe. And you know what I mean? So how did you? It was like the rug was lifted, and the civilization, a continent the size of Greenland, is hidden under Europe somewhere. And I said about 6 months ago that you will, in the next few months, we will have a new civilization being discovered. I said it on Brian's show, and people like, well, you know what I mean, really. And
I think Brian is about to go live in a little bit, so we don't want to clash with him. Brian, I'll probably see in your chat. But yeah, Paul, before we go, do you want to like maybe take your shirt off for the ladies and the chat?
No, they want to see my shirt.
well, you know, they all have a crush on you. You know.
No. See, there's me top. I'll do that. I'm not going to show me top. I'll do that for you. Look,
there we go. Come on, guys. Ladies, he's not wearing the tight shirt to show his age.
I've got nothing underneath though.
I'm sorry. Maybe next time. Paul, I love you. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on my first live. It went pretty well. And Brian, we will see you in your chat. And that's about it. Right, guys?
Love you guys. And goodbye. End broadcast. And you're still live.